Finally got a case for the 17 Pro Max, and so what that means is I can finally determine whether lenses, external lenses, work with the new phone. What I'm doing is shooting a chart, and so it is kind of a techie video today, but what that will show is whether or not the lens actually works with the new sensor. In the past, they didn't work very well, so we'll see how they work today. And by the way, this is not scientific, it's just me testing it and showing you the footage, and then you can determine, and I'll give some guidance here, whether or not they work. Before we get into it, did you know I have a brand new movie out called Casey Makes a Mixtape? It's available right this moment on Amazon, Apple TV, YouTube Movies, and more. It's a completely independent film and partially shot on an iPhone, so definitely go check it out. Here's a 17 Pro Max with a 24mm baseline. We're seeing off the chart, of course, because I'm using other lenses, but this is how it looks straight out of the phone. And now here's the 48mm straight out of the iPhone. First up, this is the ReeFlex G Series 2x Tele. And here I'm using the Blackmagic camera app and the 24mm, so it's a 2x on the 24. Now, still with the 2x lens with the 48mm. Peaking looked great on the 24mm. On the 48mm, it looks good in the middle, but on the edges, it doesn't look quite as sharp. All right, now I've got the ReeFlex wide angle on there, and so I moved the camera closer so I could try to fill the frame more with the chart. But it is a wide angle lens. All right, and so that's on the 24, which is what you would do, but just for fun, I'll push in onto the 48mm. Looks like the focus is holding. And now I've got the ReeFlex 1.33x anamorphic on, and that's on the 24mm. Now, one of my favorite things to do shooting with the anamorphic is I'll punch in on the 48. I really like the way this looks when you're shooting. It removes some of the distortion, or almost all of it, and if you're close to a subject, of course, you can get better shallow depth of field. But does it work here? To me, on set right now, it looks a little bit soft, so I'm going to back the camera up. It's possible I'm too close to the chart. So I backed it up about a foot, and I'm going to roll again. The peaking looks much better now. With that lens on there and then using the iPhone telephoto, the minimum focus distance is increased. Now I'm sure you're wondering about the long range tele, the 240mm from ReeFlex, and I have to go outside to check that one out. So here's the iPhone built-in 4x tele, just as a baseline. And so here it is on the 4x tele, so that would be about a 200mm equivalent or so. I'm not 100% for sure. I didn't know there'd be a math test today, but it looks like it works very well. Now here it is on the 8x tele, and yeah, it definitely works here too. I can't tell if that's tack sharp here on the iPhone monitor, but it looks pretty good to my eye. If it's not totally sharp here, it was on the 4x, so it definitely does work with the built-in telephoto. All right, now we'll check out Moment. And so I had to back the camera up a little bit. I'm using the Moment telephoto for this first shot, and it's on the 24mm. And now I'll punch into the 48 millimeter. Now looking at the peaking here, the focus peaking, the center looks like it's okay. The edges look like it's dropping off, but I'll confirm that in post-production. All right, now I've got the Moment 18 millimeter on and I move the camera closer again. And the chart all looks sharp, peaking looks good. And now again, just for fun, I'll push in on the 48 millimeter. So I was going to show the Moment 1.33 times anamorphic, but it turns out I don't have one. I thought I had a T-Series 1.33, but I don't. And so I can't show the Moment. I'll have to talk to Moment about getting another one sometime in the near future. And so what I'm going to do is throw in a lens that I've actually never shown on the channel because I just got it and I've never used one. And I've had a lot of people ask me about it. And that is a Neewer lens. And it is a 2.5 times telephoto. And so right now I've got it on the iPhone shooting the chart. It's on the 24 millimeter. And this is one big hunk of glass. If you haven't seen this lens in person, it is surprisingly big. And so I actually changed cases too, and I've got a small rig case that has a metal plate in it for the 17 millimeter or the T-mount. And so I switched it to 17 millimeter, but it's much more robust. And so in saying all that, let's check out that Neewer 2.5 times telephoto. Looks sharp as I'm shooting it for sure. Now we'll punch in on the 48 millimeter. And so that's the 48 millimeter with the Neewer 2.5 times. So what is that? I don't know, 5 times tele? And so just for kicks, let's now try it on the 4 times tele with the iPhone. All right, so in my studio, I had to back up and I'm 10 to 12 feet away. It's as far as I can go, small space here, and it doesn't work here. So we'll check it outside. And it doesn't look like it's sharp looking at the monitor. Now I'll check it in post-production, but it definitely works great on the 24 millimeter, and then it looks like it works pretty well on the 48. So overall, the lenses appear to work. I would say the ReeFlex are really good, the Neewer was fine, and Moment is pretty good. The wide is great. The tele, a little bit softer than I would like, but absolutely does work. And in a future video, a part 2 of this, I will cover shift cam and Sandmark, and then eventually I'll cover Beast Grip because I've got to get a Beast cage before I can do that one. But the good news is if you've already bought these lenses, they do work with the 17 Pro, and that actually means the ReeFlex as well. I was worried about that one, the 240 millimeter, and that one looks really good. Thanks for watching. This is Blake Calhoun. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.